I ask a lot of actors what actor they're mistaken for. Barry Keoghan. He told me he's been mistaken for you, for Tom Hardy.
Well, I take that as a compliment. He's super talented, you know. Okay, cool. I'll go
You'll
with
take
that.
it? Vice versa?
I'm with you to the end.
Say it ain't so. This isn't the end. It can't be the end. The end of Venom?
Well, no, it will never be the end of Venom. Venom's Venom, you know. Like,
But Tom's Venom?
yeah, like it's the end of me participating in the Venom world. Yeah.
It's been an amazing run, man. And I know your collaborator, Kelly Marcel, has talked about this trilogy as kind of being a giant rom-com. So does that mean that your own best romantic screen partner is yourself?
Like, yeah, filtered through a lot of visual effects primarily. But that's healthy, right? I guess I do love myself in some aspects. So many people spend the time on a side of a mountain or going through Penguin self-help books to find love for themselves. I just vicariously found out through the course of this trilogy that I might love myself.
Yeah, a little bit more of an expensive way to figure it out, but it happened.
Thank you, Sony, for that.
Exactly. A nice
that
bonus we
journey,
didn't
the
anticipate.
zen that's come with playing this.
I don't know if I had on my bingo card Venom, both singing and dancing to ABBA in a movie ever, but you did it. Is this as close
It was
as...
100% naturally logical. You know, when you think
You think
about
so?
it. Yeah, 1,000,000%, 1,000,000%. The versatility of the character is endless. I look at the lore of the comic books, which can heavily be charted into R-rated territory. There's an abundance and a wealth of material there that I would love to play with, and it which reminds me of Bronson and the way that we could go with that. You got to remember Kelly wrote Bronson as well, so she's her stretch is capable of
That's
taking
as
it.
wide a breadth as
We
we
could
get.
go
Yeah.
hard R with Venom and have a lot of surrealist fun with it too. But the caveat for this operation was to deliver a PG-13 family movie with Venom without Spider-Man as well, to establish him after Sam Raimi established him earlier. Closer, I would say, to comic book lore in many aspects, but again, not quite as fulfilling as Venom fans would have liked. There not being enough screen time, enough development time, enough to allow him to flourish. Venom verse, as far as our version of it, allowed an introduction to a wider audience, not just the fans. Largely caveated with, this needs to be a family film.
Right.
And so that's why we've gone into the canvas of joy and the dichotomy and the paradox of the sort of condition of what is an anti-hero and how would that look and how could that be fun, but also carry and travel if you wanted to take it into an R-rated or into another universe or anywhere. Can we create something that's likable?
You told me once that some of the influence for the iconic voice lay in hip hop. Is that still the case? I mean, do you still listen to specific music to key into Venom, or is it old hat now and you can kind of just always go there?
One of the big inclusions that Kelly and I put into the melting pot of our sort of creative process is throwbacks to when we were kids. What did we enjoy? You know, whether that's E.T., Indiana Jones, The Goonies, you know, Beverly Hills Cop. How can we fold in the alchemy, hidden Easter eggs of influences that we had as kids? One of those things would be, for me, rap music. It was hugely influential for me as an artist in the spoken word and what you can create with just a voice. And some words, and assonance and alliteration and poetics, and an individual stands and gives you 8 bars of personality and can travel like a movie can. Also, some of the tonal qualities of certain MCs are larger than life. If you look at Method Man, Redman, you look at Busta Rhymes, look at Biggie Smalls, there's something about them that's larger and bigger and epic in the soundscape that they have. So that underpinned immediately when being playful and using a soundscape, it was logical that Venom had to fall into the canon of Busta Rhymes, Method Man, Redman, James Brown, you know, big, opulent, almost comedic, comic voices that have a serious tone when they want to be, very serious, but they play.
We've been talking since the first Venom movie about Venom and Spider-Man and this thirst for this.
Yeah.
You wanted it.
Yeah.
Seems like Tom was game for it. The fans wanted it.
Yeah.
Why did it never happen thus far?
I don't know. There were things. I mean, there were candid responses to that, but they would still be just guessing. You know, they were just guessing. I honestly don't know. I think in that aspect, you know, I think it's way above my pay grade, but not my interest grade. You know, I want that too, and you know, how do you make that manifest?
Right.
You know, I honestly don't know. It's what the fans would like. I mean, some of them, a lot of them that I've met, it's what I would like. You know, Tom would be up for it. We'd all be up for it. So it's a question of how.
there is obviously these Avengers movies coming, and there's been a lot of talk and hope. Can Venom fit into an Avengers movie?
Or do you think he can?
Yeah, I do.
There's your answer. So at the end of the day, we went forward to present a Venom that people would like to see, maybe mixing with anywhere. Does he stand up to Thor, Hulk, Captain America, Iron Man? He's a Marvel character. He's on film. There's Sony and Disney, sure, but that's not my fight. My interest is presenting you. Do you like the Venom that we've come up with, and campaigning for the opportunity to play with anybody in that world? So that's where I leave it.
Do you have a favorite line you've gotten to utter in the Venom voice over the course of these films? I can nominate, just having seen this latest one, hearing Venom voice say, engage your core, just makes me smile, makes me happy.
Okay, there are lots of throwaways with Venom. Lady Luck is a fickle tonight. I love how Venom itself will run riot and can be unfiltered and unpredictable and say absolutely anything, not just because it's a funny line, but in the same way that an animal might respond to the world.
Instinctual. And,
yeah. And that's what makes him, when he's deliciously funny for me, it's not like haha, I'm cracking a joke.
Right.
It's an observation to an environmental circumstance,
right,
which is counter to what it's awkward, or it's deliciously on point. When it works, it's brilliant.
Yeah, it must be the most ultimate freedom you could experience as an actor. Ironically, you don't think of that necessarily in the comic book movie format. No. You can kind of just react and go anywhere.
That's the game is you're in the room with somebody who you don't know how they're going to react. The joy of playing Eddie Brock, is you're aware that there is something in you that's listening that may respond very differently to how social symbolic order and the correct etiquette and social framework wants him to align. And not to mention the fact that, if we didn't know Venom was there, the other game is to play that nobody will believe me if I tell you that I'm living with an alien, and those things are quite funny.
Yeah.
So how do you capitalize on that? Because that's the strength, really, of not being able to delve into the depth of lore that's within the canon of this comic book, that we could bring and capitalize and use on a daily basis to maintain, I suppose, a centrifugal element or a gimbal within the Venomverse that we could be sure of, And then it's the right balance between, is it too goofy or is it serious? Is there an emotional payoff? Do we care? Who are we introducing, and what is the point and why? And then we start to world build. But we have to look at the IP and go, okay, these are our parameters and restrictions. How can we serve best and pour ourselves entirely into it, because we're not shying from anything. There's just rules to this.
I didn't get a chance to catch up with you on Bike Riders, which was one of my favorites last year, and to see that amazing cast, in particular to see you with someone like Austin Butler.
I love Austin.
Austin's the best.
He really is, yeah.
As an actor, as a human being.
Yeah, he's special, isn't he?
Did you recognize something of yourself at that age in Austin? What did you connect with? What do you...
No, I didn't. Do you know what it was? I've never met somebody who is so acutely sensitive and awake to every detail, whether that's personal or the work, and compartmentalize and be visible and invisible and present all at the same time, and so magnetic and so talented. He's a very, very special person, and just great to work with somebody who's that gifted and generous and sensitive and smart as well. So did I see some of myself in him? No, I didn't. I saw just an enigma. This guy's super talented. He's generous. So there's no obstacles, no obfuscation between the energy. It's like there's an alignment of what do you want to do and achieve today? And it's like, I'd like to do this. Well, let's get it done, you know? And then I realized, he's like 15 years or something, 20 years younger than me. So I just feel old. And that's like, okay, well, of course I'm getting old. I'm gray haired, balding, teeth are crooked, bow legs, that will happen. And, that's okay. And then I looked at he was the middle-aged guy in that film.
Right.
There was another generation behind that coming up. And Toby, I'm 30 years probably. I was like, it's done. Right. It's done. I can no longer, although I've been an eternal child in me always.
Of course.
But it's ridiculous to think I'm going to stay forever young. This is the next gen. And that's the next gen behind it.
It's one thing to see one more gen. You see two more gens in front of you.
And there's going to be another one. Right?
And
another one, and another one, and another one. It's like, okay.
Yeah, but there's something beautiful about that. Yeah,
but then this decade is now, from 50, I'm 47 now, so from 50 to 60 is another decade of experiential hindsight and observation and reflection from that decade. So I'm on that one now.
Any chance we're going to see you reteam with your buddy Chris Nolan?
I'd hope so, but that's kind of a one-way street. Right. He calls you and you don't call him.
You show up. If that bat phone rings, you're there?
Of course, it's
Yeah,
Chris Nolan. Like whatever he comes with is an immediate yes.
Yeah.
But you know, again, he's a law unto himself, and if that happens, immediately you answer the phone. I do anyway. You know.
What are you going to miss, man, if this is indeed it? I mean, you've had such a connection with the fans. Is it about the fans, about the role?
I'll stay open. You know what I mean? On that, I won't miss anything apart from the joy that I have of being part of a team that's current and connected and working on something right now. I'll join another team, and I'll get that from that next team. You know, and I'll put into that team. If somebody calls me back, I'll come back. You know, if that's what happens. If it doesn't, that's what happens, and I'll keep moving forward. So, it would be like. I wish I was 20 years old again. I wish I was 30. I wish I was 40. I'm here. So I don't really miss. I just can reminisce on things that were really, really cool. But they're part of me,
Yeah.
part of my life story. So that's the bonus. Does that make sense?
Totally.